Hi, I'm Dee from Durham Wildlife Trust.
And I'm Andy from Durham Wildlife Trust.
And we're here at the beach this morning because it's National Marine Week and we're going to do a little bit of rock pooling and talk a little bit about how to do it safely.
So the most important thing is when you're going to go rock pooling is check the tide. And you can check the tide either on the internet, or you can even look in the local paper and it'll show you when low tide is. I think one of the most important things is to follow the tide out rather than follow the tide in, I suppose. But because you need to know where the tide is at all times, and you need to check on it.
Yeah, so always if you're rock pooling, face the sea rather than having your back to it.
Yeah.
Another thing is always to make sure that somebody knows where you are. So if you're going to go rock pooling, tell somebody where you're going and when you expect to be back, or take an adult with you. And also dress appropriately, so if it's hot, wear a sun hat and some sun cream, or if it's raining like this morning, a waterproof jacket and sensible footwear so that you can move carefully over the rocks.
Right, so whenever you're rock pooling, the most important thing is when you come across a rock is that when you turn it over very, very carefully. And then hold it, don't let it fall, and have a good look. And you can see on here we've got some winkles, and we've also got some limpets, and we've got a lot of barnacles on here. So I'll just put that down very, very, very carefully. And you can see these are all different ages. They're very, very young limpets, and they're probably going to be male, because in the first 2 years they're always male and then they change sex to female. And you can see down here you've got a nice little hermit crab which is trying to escape. You can see its little claw inside. It's got a big, very large right claw that it uses just to close the entrance to the shell. So I'll just pop that down there. When you've looked at everything you want to look at, the next thing you need to do is make sure that you turn the rock back, because you never know, some of these whelks could have eggs nearby, and if you leave it completely exposed, then all those animals underneath won't survive. There you go. So this is lovely here because you've got 3 different types of seaweed. You've got toothrack, which is this one here, and you can see the bit of the jagged edges. And it's also got, I always think it's a bit like a leaf because you can see the rib all the way along. And seaweed is great because it's food for a lot of different animals, particularly a lot of the sea snails. You've also got bladderwrack, which is this one here, and you can see these little air sacs. It's so that when the sea comes in, they can float upwards, and they've got pairs of sacs. And if we move along here, you can see this lovely iridescent green is sea lettuce, which is great food for some sea slugs like sea hares. So I can't see any there though, which is good. So this is a little shore crab, all right, and you can see it's got big claws on the front. It's got those 2 little eyes. And it's very small, and it's going to be quite difficult to turn over, I think. Oops. Yeah, and this is a female because a male has a triangular tail flap, and this one is more of a...
It's a wider triangle.
It's more of a wider triangle. So we'll pop that back. Now always put back whatever you find almost into the exact same space. So we're going to leave it there, tuck it in, and then I'm going to put the seaweed back to keep it nice and moist.
So here we've got some breadcrumb sponge, which is this lovely yellow looking sponge. Always reminds me of SpongeBob SquarePants. You can see it's over on this bit here as well.
It is great, that.
And here we see the Tyrannosaurus rex of the rock pools.